But yeah, let's jump into Warriors first. I watched a good bit of both of the second halves of those games. Because it's the East Coast road trip, I couldn't catch a lot of the first half, but it seems like you got to watch a good chunk of both of those. What are your thoughts coming off of the week that was?
Um, I mean, I think it was two games. We were supposed to win, or was it three games? Was it three
Yeah, I
games?
think it was three if you throw in Philly also, right? They beat Philly.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
other one. It was Philly. Yeah, so three games we were supposed to win, but we've had a lot of those games we were supposed to win this season. So it's good to see them actually execute. It really should have been four. We should have beat the Hawks too. Um, but
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I forgot
that's
about
when we
that one
lost. Yeah,
because that would
that
be
one
that'd
was.
be a 5 game winning streak or without
Yeah, that
that
would
one,
have been
right?
three,
Yeah,
four. Would have been four. Yeah,
yeah.
or yeah, four. So we still got a chance to make this a 5 game win streak. That's the thing. I don't get too excited when we beat those Eastern Conference teams, especially Sixers, damn near down and B. So I want to hope that they could bring this back to the West Coast, this energy. I
Yeah.
feel like we got the Suns, Jazz, Clippers, and Jazz again next. So I think if we come out with at least two of those, that would be great. That would yeah, if we could at least just beat the Jazz twice, or maybe Suns and the Jazz.
Yeah,
Uh,
it would be nice. But yeah, no, I think
yeah,
that's the good spot. It's a good way to think about it, right? It's like you've done your work on the East Coast trip, and again, it's the East. It's crazy because like Pacers are solid team, Sixers solid team, but again, Sixers no Embiid. Pacers haven't quite had it all come together post Siakam trade yet. But yeah, now it gets real. It's like kind of a good mix of home and away too. It's like they get to play the Suns and Clippers at home, but they got to go to Utah for both of those games. And it's just all right. This is the West, and the West is real. And it's like the Suns are just really are pretty good now, and the Clippers are really
yeah,
fucking good. So if you could steal one of those, great. But honestly, where the Warriors have been at, you can't expect it necessarily. I want to see how they've been playing
yeah,
well. I want to see how this Suns game goes. But
yeah,
Utah's the team. Utah's been playing good basketball. Their Warriors, I think, are a half game back of Utah right now. So if they
yeah,
can win those two games, they're looking at least like going to the All Star, being in the play in most likely, which
yeah.
is kind of the place you want to be. But
Hmm.
yeah, no, it's interesting to see. I think the run has been really cool to see, or cool to see it come together in a way we all know kind of it could. The Hawks game was so frustrating because if
Yeah.
you look
Oh,
at
that's the
it,
one. Yeah, that's the
cause
one you dropped 60.
it would have had
Or
to been
yeah, yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah. Because it was a loss. Yeah,
Yep, that's 60. Yep,
yep.
66-4. Yeah, and it's just that's the one because if you take that one away, after the Lakers loss. It's crazy because if you take the Lakers loss, the Lakers overtime loss away because they're both OT losses. That's one,
Yeah.
two, three, four, five, six, seven. That would have been 8 in a row. So those are the only two losses they've had in the last eight, and they're both in overtime actually. And then Steph
Yeah.
drops 60-1, drops like 46 in the other one, right, against the Lakers
Yep.
that night. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's crazy. Those are the two losses. Those are probably the two highest scoring games he's had in the run. And those are the ones they couldn't quite pull out. But yeah, they're in a. It's interesting to see they're playing. It's weird to see that they're playing good basketball, but still not necessarily be confident, and where they're at because
Yeah.
it's just the West is really good, and at best, like this is really good basketball. That's going to lead you to be in the worst position in the play-in. You know what I mean? But we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see what maybe there's more work they can do. The Lakers haven't been running away with it. But even then, it feels like the 9 seed is probably the cap for this team. I don't know.
Yeah. It's I feel like yeah, I want to see the Suns game tomorrow. I feel like if they could beat the Suns, I feel like it would just be really good for our. It'd be really good for their confidence just going forward. Is that the last? Or wait, what's the last game before All Star break again?
That's the second Jazz game. Second Jazz game
Okay,
is
so
the
the
last
second
one.
Jazz game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that'll be. We could come out of there with a Suns win and then beat the Jazz. Like I feel
Yeah.
like that's really good going into All Star break.
Yeah.
Uh,
Kind of throw away any thoughts of beating the Clippers probably, but if they can go 3-4.
yeah,
If they can beat the Jazz twice and steal that game against the Suns, that's like
yeah,
go 11-3 to kind of ride into the All Star break, and again beating a team like the Suns, you're feeling good
yeah,
because even if it is the West, like if you just gotta land Minnesota, like if you get Minnesota in
hmm
the first round, I don't know if you're going to that series thinking that you can't win it, even if you
yeah,
are what the Warriors have been this season, especially if they get it together. So there's still
hmm
hope, definitely. I'm interested to see. Um, let's see. I didn't get to watch much of the last two. How's Kaminga look? Seems like the numbers have still been there, but
He's been looks really good. I think Wiggins had a good game in one of those too. Was it the
yeah,
last one? He led us in scoring, and was that the Pacers
I think it was
game?
the Sixers. He led the team in scoring. He had 21.
Sixers, yeah, yeah. But yeah, Kaminga's still been looking good. You could tell Moody came back the Brooklyn game, and he's. I'm glad to see Kurt's throwing him out there already, trying to find him in the mix. I mean, I feel like
I think he
Dario's
came back
get
against.
cut.
He's been hurt.
Uh,
I think he just got
oh,
back from
okay.
injury. I think Indiana was the first time I've seen him in a long time. I think that might
Yeah.
have been his first game back. But yeah, no, the Moody part's been interesting. That's, I mean, not to go, not even negative, but it
Yeah.
was weird. I think what in Moody's third game was that the last just to see kind of Guy Santos. Guy Santos seems to be
Oh
getting a
yeah.
lot of those Moody minutes, and he's been playing well.
Hmm.
He hit the couple threes. I feel like he kind of just been out there
Yeah.
contributing in small ways, but then he hit the two
Yeah.
threes in the last one, and it's like,
Yeah.
ah man, it's just like Moody can't catch a break, man.
Yep.
I could
Competing
just
for a spot always. What's
Steph,
it called? The other dude. How you say? I should learn to say his name now.
Lester
25.
Keonis.
Yeah. He's actually been playing good too. Um, I
Yeah,
mean, I don't think that. Well, yeah. I mean, at least until Chris Paul and GP get back, because
yeah.
kind of
Now
slow. I'm not gonna lie.
you say he's kind of
Like,
slow.
yeah, he just kind of
Yeah,
you just
no.
tell it's like NBA speed. He's not fully there,
Yeah.
but he's seems like he could be developed. So
He's
enough
both
to
of
get rid of Corey Joseph.
yeah, apparently. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, that's kind of interesting with both of them. It's been interesting to see just in general their minutes, and it was just I feel like I was talking to Dan earlier just about the timing um, of it, where it's just like, oh, he kind of was forced just because kind of
Hmm.
Clay got hurt. Dario has been hurt, and there was somebody else. I think Wiggins might have missed a game in there or something.
Yeah,
But just
Wiggins
like
missed one.
there were minutes open for somebody to take, like right
Hmm.
before Moody came back, where they both of those dudes started to play a little consistently on the road trip, and it just kind of
Hmm.
worked out to the point where it's like Kerr kind of has them ahead in his mind to kind of then I just yeah, Keona's last
Yeah,
game plays 27 minutes. Guy Santos plays 21 minutes. Moody plays 13 minutes. And it's just like
yeah,
it's interesting how it happens. It's like cool to see because they both been contributing. Like they kind of got their spot. It's cool to always see a G League player like get a chance to really contribute in a couple games and like earn some minutes. But it has been just man, the timing for Moody's just been rough this whole year, man.
yeah. Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
we'll see. He's here. He's here to stay. I think we're kind of both hinting at the trade stuff, but Corey Joseph out, but Moody's here for the rest of the season at least. So we got to find
yeah.
some minutes for him somewhere.
Hmm.
Hopefully, as but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much longer. We were talking about that the other day. We'll see how much longer till Chris is back, until GP2 is back, and what that means for the minutes as they kind of how the minutes go around.
Yeah, it's an important time for Moody to just take advantage of the opportunity while they're out to show that he needs to be in that rotation when everybody gets back. Um, so hold
You're good.
on. I forgot what I was about to say.
Nah, I was trying to think of where.
Damn, what was I
Nah,
about to say?
nah, you're good. The Steph or I was gonna ask about pods, because that's the other
Pods.
side of the Moody coin. Because it is like he's kind of the starter. He probably has just kind of earned the starting shooting guard spot. I think Clay just didn't play last
Yeah.
game, not the starting shooting guard spot, but you could tell like he's the guy Kerr trusts probably the most with the Wiggins, Kaminga, Draymond, Steph group. That's how the guy he wants out there with him right now. He's been playing well. I feel
Yeah.
like he's been kind of racking up. He racked up a couple straight double doubles, right, over the
Hmm.
last
Yeah.
week. Got close to a triple double again the other day. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm curious.
He just or yeah. Yeah, I figure he's gonna get that spot, or if that spot's up for grabs, just the Clay spot. I figure he's gonna get it now just because it's undeniable at this point with just what he's doing. He does pretty much everything. It just young players scare me for the playoffs, so I feel like that's where we need. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
just Moody ready. Moody and Kaminga both ready to play just big minutes, and it seems like Kaminga's in there, but. Paz is doing his shit right now. Just
Yeah,
playoffs is just different,
I know,
especially Western Conference playoffs. Yes.
and I feel like we mentioned this, but that's also part of the frustrating part of this whole thing with Kerr because he's kind of done it the last 2 years. It's like you do this shit with some players that you know you're not going to trust. Like as soon as Pod does something stupid in the playoffs, like first time,
Yeah.
like he does the shit that he does where he's just like, nigga, why did you decide it was your turn to go this time instead of like moving the ball? Like along the first
Yeah.
time that happens, he's gonna end up on the bench and Moody's gonna end up in the game because Kerr doesn't. And like just it happened with Kaminga in the past, like kind of
Yeah.
go through all this and then you just first bad thing in the playoffs that happens, you're not going to play them anymore. It's like, so why?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing during the season then? But also, like, you just got to win games right now, and he's
Gotta
been
win.
helping
Yeah.
that. So I can't
Mm-hmm.
even knock you. But yeah, I forgot. I didn't even realize Steph made 11 threes last game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now he started off. He was on pace. He had a
Yeah.
29 or 27 in the first half. He
Gosh.
started off like 7 for 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do remember coming in and seeing that he had made all of his shots, and maybe they were all threes to start, kind of
Yeah.
type shit.
It was weird game. Tyrese only had like 5 points. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know the Siakam trade. Just I don't know. I guess
They
he
gotta
didn't have
find
a
a.
bad game. It didn't look good. Like just
Yeah,
actually, this is my first time actually watching them. It didn't
yeah.
seem like they have not
He was
figured it out at all.
He was minus 16. That's the lowest. I mean, he was the worst plus minus guy
Yeah,
tonight. So, no, like you said, numbers were fine, but it seemed like, or last night, it seemed like yeah, they were struggling when he was on the court. It seemed
yeah,
like type of thing. But yeah, no, I'm wondering how long it's going to take them to really find a
mhm,
vibe. I feel like it's been up and down. At least it hasn't just been all bad. Like they're still at the 6 seed. They're kind of at the top of that like group. That six,
yeah,
7, 8 seed, kind of at the back end of the East. But it's
hmm
like feels like it hasn't quite clicked like you would expect it to yet. So,
yeah,
but yeah, said Warriors been taking advantage. I feel like they had two. I think that's the nice. Like they had this Eastern Conference trip, and they had two teams that are probably tougher opponents. It's typically than what they got this year. You know what I
hmm
mean? I
yeah,
like the Sixers. Like, yeah, you saw a Sixers team that was nowhere near the Sixers team you saw the first time you played the Sixers, even kind of type
hmm
thing. And even that one, like, Embiid barely should have probably played the first time around anyway, kind of
yeah,
shit. And then you got like a Pacers team that isn't at their best right now, but they're doing handling business, doing what
yeah.
they need to do.
Stacking up wins.
It's all you
A lot
can.
of wins. Stacking up.
It's all you can do is stack up the wins at this point until and hope that it's enough because I don't know if the West is slowing down at all. Um, you got a prediction for the Final Four going into the All Star break? Pull this up.
Uh, Final four. Our final four games.
Yeah,
2, 3, 4. Oh, the Clippers are in there. Okay. Oh, man.
I know it's
Hope we
tough.
could. I wanna.
The two and
We
two
should come at it.
seems
I don't. 2-2 seems like that. It's just
reasonable.
not a. Yeah, it's reasonable. Also not enough, but
Yeah,
we
exactly.
kind of have to at least go. We have to at least go 2-2 this
Yeah,
per. I feel like if we throw, I don't. If we throw one of these Jazz games, I feel like
yeah. It's kind
just
of.
because of the placement of them. Like if
Mm-hmm. You just
we
can't.
lose to the Suns and then throw a Jazz game, and then we got to play the Clippers, or if we beat the
Yeah,
Suns, throw a Jazz game, then we got to play the
yeah.
Clippers. It's just kind of
Yeah. No, you can end up in a bad spot where if you lose that first Jazz game, then you like probably lose to the Clippers and you're playing against the Jazz in like what kind of feels like a must-win game before you even hit the All-Star break because you can't drop like three in a row and two of them to the Jazz when that's the
yeah,
team you got to catch.
hmm
Like unless the
yeah,
Lakers just totally throw away this next week of basketball, like you kind
yeah,
of need to you got to beat the Jazz at least once and you kind of need to win. If you don't beat the Jazz twice, you need to win one of those other games and
yeah.
it's a tough.
I got to
Go ahead.
I think we can go 3-1.
Yeah, it's there.
I got a good feeling about the Suns game
Yeah, yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah.
I feel like if we could go 3-1, we might not. Yeah, the Clippers
It's
they on a roll right now,
yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah, no, the Clippers are low key like the best team in basketball. If you really look close, kind of right now. If not, they're them in Denver and Boston are all like there's nobody really pulling ahead. It's them three. Um, But yeah, no, the Clippers are the one that you probably gotta throw away. But yeah, the Suns one feels this was fair. I feel like this team has a tendency to remind everybody or remind even the fans and themselves on some national on a random national TV Saturday that they're
Yeah,
actually pretty good, like they've done to the Celtics in the past. It's just like, yeah, you guys
yeah,
are actually like a good basketball team that can beat other good basketball teams if you lock in. So
yeah,
yeah, hopefully they got it in them tomorrow. I'm curious to see how it goes. Um, but yeah, the Clippers one would be the one that's kind of crazy. That's the stupid shit they'll
yeah,
do where they'll lose the first two, and then they'll beat the Clippers somehow.
yeah.
That's
That
some
yeah.
bullshit. But hopefully they handle business. Um, any other thoughts? Feel like we hit on
Uh,
Kaminga. Oh, Clay. I mean, you want to talk Clay?
why didn't Clay play that?
Yeah, that's
Why
a
didn't
good
he play that
question.
game?
Let's
It did,
see.
I was like, I didn't really see like an injury report or anything.
Yeah.
I think it was they said illness or something. I don't
Uh, do why did he miss? Injury report. Illness,
know.
yeah. Yeah.
Illness on his birthday. Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. Oh, it was his birthday? That's
Yeah, that was his birthday. That's what
tough.
people was making the joke that he got benched on his birthday.
He got benched or got traded on his birthday. That would have been rough. Shit.
And
Okay.
Steph almost broke his record.
Oh
Oh
shit.
boy,
That would have
yeah,
been
that would have been
rough.
yeah.
Man. He was really gunning for it too. This nigga got halfway there, like before the first half even ended, right?
Yep.
Essentially. Oh shit. Um
Yeah, the Clay. I think. Oh man, I don't know. See, did he come off the bench one of these games?
No, he hasn't come off the
No, he
bench
didn't.
yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
he
probably
hasn't
the
come off
one
the bench yet.
saving grace, but he just hasn't been finishing really because he's been really bad
Oh
recently.
yeah, he's been benched. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think it's been interesting. I don't know. He's just been struggling. I feel like he had the big interview where he was kind of talking through
Yeah,
with he was talking I think with Slater. I think Draymond, you hear Draymond. I only saw the clip with Draymond singing in the background for a little bit
yeah.
or whatever,
Hmm.
but it just seemed like he's kind of first time that was the one where like there's times he hasn't finished, but it was like that one. It was like it was literally like Guy Santos that was kind of out there instead of him, and it was like you could tell like
Yeah,
happy for him and Keonis and stuff like that. But also you
yeah.
could tell it was like just yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun coming off the bench,
Hmm.
or not fun getting bench in moments that you know you can be in. So, but even interesting to see. He's just been struggling. Hopefully at some point the jumper could come back around, and we'll see how that goes. But
Yeah.
yeah, nothing.
It'd
Yeah, I
be
didn't have
nice.
anything really. Go ahead, my bad.
It'd be nice if that's all he could. I mean, that's really all he has to focus on is making shots. Put him in the
Yeah.
best position to make shots. Maybe after All Star, or I don't know. I say see how these next 5 games go, or is it
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 games go, and then
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. If he just stinks it up these next 4 games, I feel like after All Star break, you have to
Might
kind
be
of
time,
that
yeah.
might be the time to have a talk and talk about roles.
Yeah. Let him calm down on his vacation, maybe try to break the news to him before.
Yeah,
We'll see. Maybe he get the shot going again. Got a couple extra days off. Maybe it'll
yeah.
help. It's kind of along those lines. How do you because this team is just so different. We haven't seen Draymond and Chris Paul play together in a long time.
I
Actually,
know.
yeah. It was
Yeah,
like how do you feel like Chris coming back? Because GB2 is probably just going to be worked in, probably slower. Just hopefully
yeah,
they're feeling confident enough in a play-in run that they want to save him, obviously for those games, kind of type shit. We'll kind of
yeah,
roll him back slowly, but it seems like Chris will be back. And like as far as what Steve has shown us till this point, like when Chris is there and Chris is healthy, Chris is gonna play and Chris is gonna play a solid amount. But as
yeah.
they've kind of found a groove since Draymond's
Yeah.
been back in certain ways. It took him a minute, but they're kind of getting there. How do you feel like Chris's reintroduction shifts things? Doesn't shift things? I don't know.
I think it's gonna shift. I don't know. I think it's gonna shift a lot.
Mm,
I feel like
is
thing we talked about on the last pod is going to be a lot for Courage. Is like he's seeing all the talent he has right now in these young
yeah.
guys. So somebody's going to have to, when Chris comes back, somebody's going to be left out of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Or, and I don't, you just got to hope that Kaminga doesn't see a drop, I guess. I don't know. It just shows how
Yeah.
deep we are actually this season. It was just it's stupid that we're not good because we really have a really deep team. So
Mm,
I don't know. I just feel like hopefully he finds a way to cut Wiggins' minutes back.
yeah.
cut
I don't
Clay's
know.
minutes back,
Yeah, because who else is there
and
actually?
yeah, and doesn't have to have Moody out there playing scrub minutes because we're gonna need him too. And I know he's Pods. I know Pods is gonna get his minutes. So like
Yeah.
that's where
But
it's just
I'd even be partially worried about Chris Paul cutting into Pods minutes too much,
yeah.
though. You know, at this point where
Hmm.
it's like, all right, this was working, and he seems to just be a positive impact most nights. And it's like, yeah,
Hmm.
there's the playoff thing, but also again, you got to kind of win games now. And it's like they play together,
Yeah.
but also that's the thing, just adding Chris back because if it's 30 minutes, there's just those 30 minutes have to come from somewhere, and you kind of
Yeah.
don't want them to come from anywhere but Clay and Wiggins at this point. And it
Yeah.
seems like in their head, that's probably not the first people he's thinking of taking minutes from for Chris Paul. So
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll see how it
Gonna be fun.
goes.
I miss the
Yeah.
Chris and Dario.
Yeah, the two
It's
man.
been yeah, just a 2 man game. I feel like just something that we've been missing. It's actually funny because the few games Dario has played are since Dario. You just see the difference. It's like trying to find his
Find a
trying to
spot.
find
Yeah.
yeah, trying to find his spot without Chris out there. But I
Yeah.
feel like those two are like a package. Like
Yeah.
they're really good together. And man, we got a good team,
Yeah.
man.
It's a good team there, man. That's the frustrating
Uh,
part. It's a good team
this
that
is a
stinks. They're
it's
not
a
stinking as
perfect
much lately.
it's a perfect 2K team, just deep. Got five, you go 5-5. You got really 10, damn near 11. How much good players? We damn near like 10, 11
Yeah, if you're
deep. Like
throwing pods into the mix now for real, it does make if you throw
yeah,
in GP2 and Chris back in the mix, that's 11, and that's not
hmm
counting the G League guys, which
yeah,
probably don't count yet. But yeah, no,
yeah,
they've got a good basketball team that just can't seem to put it all together. But
hmm
hopefully they're putting it together. That's what I was gonna say on the because I think talking about just Chris Paul's effect. You say probably doesn't take Kaminga's minutes really, but it's just gonna be interesting. Like Chris Paul hasn't really been back since Draymond was back, but Chris Paul hasn't been back since Kaminga's become Kaminga. And it's like
yeah,
not even in a like I don't think there's any negative there like from their interaction because like no Chris Paul was a part of why Kaminga was like even getting the opportunities he was getting like before he got the
yeah,
chance to kind of really shine in the starting
yeah.
lineup, but now it's like oh what does Chris have like what is Chris gonna do without like Chris is probably gonna play with Kaminga less now than he was
Less now,
before,
yeah.
and those lineups were
Hmm.
effective when Chris and Kaminga were out there with some like Chris was being effective in those groups a
Hmm.
lot of times. So like, I wonder what it is, especially because like I wonder if they might saddle him with Klay Thompson a little, not saddle him, but it's like if the Steph Pods thing is working, maybe the other side of that is try to get the Chris Clay thing going, and maybe it
Yeah,
works, but.
I feel like that would be yeah, that's really the perfect thing because I was trying to think of who's Chris gonna be out there with now. Because Kaminga is
Yeah.
in the lineup. So yeah, if we could, that'd be good. Even if you want to start Clay just so he feels good, and do like the little quick sub thing, then Clay comes back in with the bench and gets to run it with Chris. Like that's the perfect way to just to get Clay Thompson like, oh yeah, we just need Clay to be the one of the best shooters, which he is, and we have one of the best point guards ever to
Set him
just
up. Yeah.
feeding him, getting him the ball.
Yeah, because there are, and that's the funny thing to watch the team now because it is young guys, and it was like
Yeah,
kind of like it's funny because like you get what you don't or whatever because like they didn't like you tell all the old moments like kind of shrugging at Jordan Poole or like come on move it on like somebody was
yeah,
open coming off, but like they got a whole team of niggas now who's just like I think Paz does it a
yeah,
lot too. It's like oh no, you were definitely supposed to just wait a beat and wait for Steph to go come run off this
yep,
screen, and you're already like two dribbles to the paint,
yep.
not even looking for
Hmm.
that anymore. Like Kaminga has it, but Kaminga's also just kind of gets buckets, so you kind of just gotta
Yeah,
let it roll at this point. But like Paz does that a lot, and even some of the young guys, like you got a whole team of dudes who's like, nah, man, y'all not good enough to for us to kind of waste our time waiting for Clay to
yeah,
come off of a split cut at
hmm
this point. So you see those moments, and you can see like
yeah,
get Chris Paul back in the mix, like oh Clay's gonna catch the ball in the perfect spot to get the perfect shot, like catch the ball just where he
hmm
likes it, and just a
yeah,
little of that hopefully can help him at least get
yeah.
the jumper back, man.
That could be a really I feel like that's what we need to focus. That'll be a really good line. If you get Chris, Dario, and Clay out there and get them rolling, with who else will be out there with them?
I'm saying Chris, Dario, Clay. That's the thing. I wonder if I feel like you found out the four thing works fine for Dario. I wonder if they try Trace because Clay has a pretty
Uh,
good chemistry with Trace, and I feel like Chris
yeah,
can get the lob thing rolling. So maybe Trace. It's a weird thing though, because Looney. I didn't realize Looney still has the played game streak going, like consecutive
Oh,
game
does it?
plays. So I think that's part of like they can't let him not get that on just a DNP
Yeah.
coach's decision. So they seem like
Uh-huh.
they're finding that like you tell like the nights they don't want to play him, they're still finding like 6 minutes, six to
Six,
nine
yeah.
minutes at least to throw out there. So
Hmm.
maybe you get Looney in that spot instead of Trace. I think it works. I don't even like Trace's game all that much. I think it's
Yeah.
fine. He shows kind of, he's a rookie. It bothers me sometimes, but I think that
Yeah.
he fits with that group better than what
Hmm.
Looney does just on the offensive end. I think there's enough they need. Well, I guess the perfect scenario is GP2 as the last guy in that group,
Yeah.
especially because Dario can shoot it, Clay can shoot it,
Yeah.
Chris can shoot it.
Hmm.
Um, so there's some options there. Or I guess you go Moody. That's the thing. Chris or Kerr doesn't accept the small ball enough to, I think, go Chris, GP2, Moody, Clay, Dario. It's probably too small for him, even though
Oh
Clay's
yeah.
probably better guarding fours than guarding perimeter players at this point
This point,
anyway.
yeah.
But that would be the probably most interesting one once GP2 is back, actually.
Hmm.
Or even like you said, if you kind of, yeah, no, GP2 is back probably makes that work really
Hmm.
well, or you just slide everybody up a position and put Trace at the five. There's
Hmm.
some options there. There's some ways to make it work. But yeah, I want to see what that one. I think it's probably the next hope for Clay is that Chris's return can kind of bring some new life. And again, maybe that happens around the same time they have that big boy conversation. And like, all right, man, we're trying to make a little run here. It's going to be easier
Hmm.
if you come off the bench. But it's like, hey, you get to
Yeah.
play with Chris. It makes the rotations a little easier. You don't got to quote unquote waste the first 6 minutes of the game when you know you're probably better off having pods in that spot. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Then he's only getting
Yeah.
3 minutes with the Steph group at the beginning, and but we'll
Hmm.
see. There's a lot of stuff. Steve Kerr's job is hard. He hasn't been doing the greatest job at it, but it's a hard job to figure all this out. So yeah, we'll see. Anything else we need to hit on the Warriors? It's been a good week.
Uh, let's get out of
Fine.
here 2-2. At
Two and
least
two
two
at
and two.
least. Still this game against the Suns.
Yeah, I
Get
really
us
want that
hopeful.
one.
It's wild, man. The Jazz are actually pretty good. I don't know if I could even expect them to go to
I
Utah
know.
twice in the next week and win two of them because like
Yeah.
those dudes be hooping. If you watch them on
Hmm.
the right night, it's like, oh no, they came back and beat the Thunder. I think the other day, like in the fourth, it was oh no, these niggas actually can hoop.